Good morning, students. Students, protection is a very important aspect of the life of any living organism. Every living organism wants to be protected from any kind of external influences and want to exist and survive for a longer period of time. So, it might be humans, animals, or plants. They have been provided a certain mechanism, any limb, or any weapon, or any body part, so that they should be protected from any kind of external effects or influences, so that they should survive for a longer period. So, students, the plants has been provided by the nature a special tissue named as the protective tissue. So, this protective tissue is in the form of a layer or an outermost layer which is named as the epidermis, and a very thick layer of certain cells which are known as the cork. So now, students, we are going to understand what actually the epidermis is. From the term we can understand epi is upon and the derma means skin. So students, it is usually present in the outermost layer of the plant body, such as the leaves, flowers, stems, or roots. Okay, you can see in this figure, this is a picture of a leaf in which there are certain layers of cells. You can see there is a first layer of the cells which are known as the upper epidermis. Below it, there are some mesophyll cells which are known as a palisade mesophyll, in which there are some chloroplasts which help in the process of photosynthesis in this case, and below it there are some spongy mesophyll cells which have some intercellular spaces between them through which the gaseous exchange should be able to take place within the leaf surface, and at the bottom, at the below portion, there are some lower epidermis on which some stomatal pores are present. Okay, students, so in this way it is a thin layer of single cells, but in places with less water, लेकिन जहाँ पर पानी कम होता है प्लांट में, the epidermis of the plants can become thick in order to avoid frequent water loss. So that the main function of epidermis of the protective tissue is to protect the plant from any kind of water loss, any injuries, or any kind of pathogens like fungi, bacteria, any kind of pathogens. So in this way, students, the cells are flat and they have no intercellular space between them. You can see in this case the cells are flat and they do not have any intercellular space between them. So these are the cells which are of the epidermal or epidermal tissue. Even the outer walls of the epidermal cells are thick and the inner walls are thin. You can see the outer walls are a bit thick because of a presence of a wax-like water-resistant substance which has been secreted by the epidermal cells itself, and this waterproof layer of the wax-like water-resistant substance is known as a cuticle. Okay, so in this way the outer walls of the epidermal cells are thickened by a cuticle layer and the inner walls are a bit thin. So in this way, the epidermal cells often have long hair-like structures in roots which facilitate the absorption of water, and the main function of epidermis is to protect the plant from any kind of fungi, water loss, and any injuries by secreting a wax-like water-resistant substance. Okay, so they secrete a wax-like water-resistant substance which I told you, that is known as cutin, forming a waterproof layer, cuticle. They form a waterproof layer named as cuticle on the surface of the plants to protect the plants. Okay, so this was the certain layers. You can see the first in the outer layer, upper epidermis, there is a wax like water resistant substance which is known as cutin, and this waterproof layer is known as cuticle, which is making this upper epidermis a bit thicker, so that any kind of water loss should not be possible from the surface of the leaves. Okay, now below it there is a mesophyll cells layer which are in a much orderly manner. So this palisade mesophyll layer has a certain kind of chloroplast where a photosynthesis process takes place, and even in the spongy mesophyll there are some photosynthesis process can take place. They also have some kind of chloroplast, but the main function is there to transfer or to allow the gases to pass through this layer. That is why they have some spaces between their cells. You can see in this figure. Okay, and the lowest layer is known as the epidermis, lower epidermis, in which there are some pores, minute pores, which are known as the stomatal pores, and these are the guard cells which are on the other side of the stomatal pore. So they help in the gaseous exchange, and that is why the epidermal layer is not continuous throughout. So in this way, those stomata are the pore-like structures that are present in the epidermis of the leaves. So this is known as stomata, which are the pore-like structures, as I've shown you in the figure. You can see in this figure also. This is a guard cell. Okay, this is the guard cell, and between them there are certain pores which are known as the stomatal pores. Okay, these pores are enclosed by two cells. These pores are enclosed by two cells that have a similar shape as a kidney. They have a similar shape as kidney, and these are named as the guard cells of stomata. Okay, and the guard cells are modified epidermal cells. They are a bit modified so that they should be able to close or open if the gaseous exchange take place. So you know that during photosynthesis the carbon dioxide is taken by the plant, so the leaves take the carbon dioxide inside it through these stomatal pores, and even the transpiration, the water exchange or the evaporation of water from the leaf surface also takes place through the stomatal pores. Okay, and during the daytime the carbon dioxide, the plants take in carbon dioxide and exhale the oxygen, whereas during the night and the daytime when they take respiration, they inhale the oxygen and expel the carbon dioxide from their body. So the guard cells are responsible for the exchange of gases and transpiration. So we understand that the stomata are the pore-like structures that are present in the epidermis of the leaves. Okay, so in this way, students, we can understand when the cork is made up of those cells which die after becoming mature. Okay, and even the cells do not have an intercellular spaces. So from this we can understand the cork is a protective tissue in which the cells are dead, and these cells are formed when the cells of the other protective tissue, simple permanent tissue, or from the other tissues get dead or die, and they form a layer, and that layer is known as the cork. Okay, so the bark or the thick cork of the trees contain a substance called suberin, which makes it waterproof and does not allow gaseous exchange. So this thick layer of cork contains some substance which is named as suberin, which makes it waterproof and does not allow any kind of gaseous exchange through the surface of the plant. Okay, and in this way the loss of water is protected from the surface of the plant, and even this cork provides certain kind of protection, as it is a very hard surface, it is dead, so it provides any kind of protection and from any kind of injuries and even mechanical support to the plant. And the cork is tough yet elastic in nature, and that is why, because of this property, the cork is used in the household uses and even sports goods and equipments, and even have a good insulating properties. That is why it is used in some other insulating objects also for any kind of insulation. So in this way, we understand this epidermis, that is the outermost layer of the plant body, which is present in the leaves, flowers, stems and roots, and stomata are the pores or the openings which are present between two guard cells, and which are present in the lower epidermis. In this case you can see in this figure, and the cork are the dead cells, which are a thick layer of dead cells, which is a layer outside the bark of the tree, which is the bark of the tree, which contains a suberin deposit, and protects the plant from any kind of water loss or any gaseous exchange, and even protects from mechanical injuries. Okay, so okay students, so thank you students, please watch it attentively and make appropriate notes. You have to copy down all the three types of protective tissues in the same way, or I should say the two types of protective tissues, that is epidermis and cork, as it is from the slides. And please listen attentively and ask appropriate queries, and you can contact me for asking once again if you have any problem regarding both the protective tissues. Thank you students, thank you very much.